The bias. The NCAA has against Texas A&M historically unequal treatment. Over the years, Texas A&M has seemingly been subject to more penalties, infractions, and investigations than other schools with similar issues. This makes some Aggie supporters feel that there is a pattern of bias against their school. There have been accusations of bias against Texas A&M by the National Collegiate Athletic Association, NCAA, over the years. These accusations of bias and unfair treatment are based on several incidents, where Texas A&M has seemingly been singled out for punishment, as well as the NCAA's policies and practices that have negatively affected the school. One example of such bias is the 2012 controversy involving Texas A&M's football player Johnny Manziel, who was under investigation for possible NCAA violations. He was cleared of any wrongdoing, but the NCAA still penalized Texas A&M for violating its policy by allowing him to have multiple autograph sessions. The penalty imposed on the school was harsher than similar violations committed by other schools. Another instance was in 2018, when Texas A&M was hit with NCAA violations for apparently carrying out illegal recruiting activities. The school self-reported the violation and cooperated with the NCAA's investigation, but still received a penalty that was more severe than those given to other schools that committed similar offenses. There are also cases where Texas A&M has been punished unfairly. One example was when the NCAA retroactively added probation to the 1988-89 Aggies basketball team, even though they had already served their punishment for recruiting violations of that time. This decision by the NCAA negatively affected the careers of the players and coaches involved in that team. There are other examples of bias from the NCAA toward Texas A&M, including issues with recruiting and facilities. As a result, many Texas A&M supporters have questioned the NCAA's impartiality and fairness in dealing with the school. In conclusion, historical unequal treatment of Texas A&M by the NCAA has led to allegations of bias against the school. Aggie supporters claim that their school has been unfairly punished compared to other schools with similar violations or infractions. The NCAA has taken several actions against Texas A&M over the years, which raises a question of bias against the Aggies. Sure, I can go into more detail about specific incidents that illustrate the perceived bias that Texas A&M supporters feel the NCAA has against their school. One example is the 2010 suspension of Texas A&M football player Christine Michael. He was suspended for a game, which was later reduced to a half game, for an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty during a game. The penalty for this type of conduct is typically a fine or a warning, yet Michael received a suspension. Another example is in 2011, when the NCAA imposed penalties against Texas A&M for violations stemming from a tutor who was found to have provided improper assistance to student athletes. While Texas A&M self-reported the violation and cooperated fully with the NCAA, the penalties were more severe than those given to other schools for similar violations. In 2012, Heisman Trophy winner Johnny Manziel was under investigation by the NCAA for allegedly accepting payment for signing autographs. Despite being cleared of any wrongdoing, Texas A&M was still penalized for violating the NCAA's policy on autographs. The penalty included a 1-year probation and reduction in the number of official visits the school could provide to potential recruits. In 2018, Texas A&M self-reported a violation that occurred during a recruiting trip, in which an assistant coach provided improper transportation to a recruit. Despite self-reporting and cooperating fully with the NCAA, the school was still given a significant penalty, including a reduction in scholarships and a 5-year show-cause penalty for the assistant coach involved. The NCAA's policies on facilities have also been called into question. In 2019, Texas A&M was required to build a new volleyball facility despite the school already having a state-of-the-art facility that met NCAA standards. The NCAA's rule stipulated that the facility had to be located on campus, which was not possible due to space constraints. This decision was seen as an unfair burden on Texas A&M that other schools did not have to face. In conclusion, there have been several incidents over the years that have led Texas A&M supporters to believe that the NCAA has a bias against their school. These incidents include harsh penalties for minor violations, disproportionate penalties compared to other schools, and unclear policies that unfairly burden Texas A&M. The NCAA's policies on facilities have been a subject of controversy, with some people feeling that these policies unfairly burden Texas A&M.